the spark of a new era. Besides the obvious environmental concerns, consumers and policymakers now have plenty of reasons to consider alternatives to the gasoline engine. Although there is no consensus on how much oil there is left, as a non-renewable resource, it is finite by definition. In terms of geopolitics, oil is often a cause of instability. Many oil-rich countries have used that advantage in ways the rest of the world resents. These dynamics have shifted an increasing amount of attention to alternatives, especially hybrids and fully electric cars. Environmental issues remain the most compelling reasons to explore electric alternatives. In the U.S., for example, automobiles account for a fifth of total human carbon dioxide (CO2) emissions, which have been identified as a major cause of global warming. Car exhaust also contributes to the growing problem of urban air pollution. Nitrogen dioxide gas, NO2, is a toxic byproduct of diesel fuel combustion. It's rising above safe levels in urban areas all over the world. Electric technologies are cleaner across the board. It is important to note that electric cars still get their power from the grid, so they run on whatever the closest power plant does. The majority of them burn fossil fuels, including coal, which is hands down the worst producer of CO2 and other pollutants. Nevertheless, electric cars still come out ahead. Even if they use 100% coal-powered electricity, they create 25% less atmospheric pollution than their fossil fuel counterparts. Electric options also have several economic advantages. The first is fuel costs. Roughly $30 per month for electricity versus $100 for gas. And fully electric cars in particular require less engine maintenance and retain higher resale values than gasoline cars in the same classes. Until very recently, the sticker price of the electric car was the biggest disadvantage. Most started at around $40,000. But tax incentives and a new generation of more affordable options mean that electric cars are now within reach for the middle class. In the U.S., the Mitsubishi i-MI EV is the cheapest fully electric car on the market. As of 2015, this four-door compact was listed at $22,295. After tax rebates, the real price could be as low as $12,295. To compare, the cheapest gasoline car was the Nissan Versa at $12,800. Yet electric technology is not without its downsides. To date, the biggest problem is still plugging in, since electric owners need to be aware of the locations of electric charging stations and plan their destinations accordingly. Charging also takes quite a lot longer than filling a gas tank, between 4 and 8 hours for most models. And the range of electric cars still reaches only about 100 miles on a full charge. Gas cars vary more widely, but average between 400 and 500 miles. Stopping every 100 miles to charge for 8 hours makes electric cars impractical for long road trips. Electrics also lag behind in performance. Top speeds tend to be slower, and the lighter materials often mean the cars are harder to handle. Further, while electric cars need maintenance less often, repairs are generally more expensive. This can include battery replacement in the $3,000 range. For electrics to really become a viable alternative, they have to improve upon the current lithium-ion batteries, which are still simply too weak and too expensive. Teams at automakers, research universities, and government agencies are hard at work on this problem. Many of the proposed solutions utilize nanomaterials to pack more power into a smaller package, essentially to do for the electric car what silicon did for the personal computer. Some experts expect ranges of 500 miles to be commonplace within a decade. For most commentators, the pros will unquestionably outweigh the cons at that point.